I, 34M, thought my marriage was solid, strong, built on the kind of trust you only see in movies or long novels. I married Megan, 32F, 6 years ago, and we had one of those cliché how we met stories. She spilled coffee on my shirt at a bookstore. We both laughed, exchanged numbers, and started dating shortly after. We clicked on every level. She was funny, driven, ambitious, and absolutely gorgeous in a way that never felt artificial. I was smitten. Our wedding was small but beautiful, and for a few years, everything felt right. Megan worked in marketing at a mid-sized firm, and I was in software development. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. We had date nights, spontaneous weekend trips, lazy Sunday mornings. People used to call us the perfect couple. It felt real, at least to me. Things started changing about 18 months ago. Slowly at first, little shifts that you wouldn't notice unless you were paying close attention. Megan started working late more often. At first, I didn't think anything of it. Her company had launched a new client campaign, and she seemed excited. I was proud of her, but late nights became the norm. She started coming home exhausted, snapping over small things, and being unusually protective of her phone. She never used to care if I glanced over at her screen. Now, if I got too close, she'd angle it away or suddenly need to check something privately. Red flags, right? I told myself not to panic. Relationships go through phases. Maybe it was stress, maybe she needed space. So I tried being supportive, cooking dinner, leaving notes in her lunchbox, texting her good luck before meetings. She always responded with hearts and thank yous, but something felt off. It wasn't until one Friday night that the pit in my stomach hardened into full-blown suspicion. She said she was staying late at work again, but I'd driven past her office on my way home, something she didn't know. The parking lot was nearly empty, lights off, no sign of life inside. I waited. When she came home 2 hours later, I casually asked how her team meeting went. She hesitated, just for a second, but I caught it. Oh, yeah, it ran long. We're all exhausted. She gave me a kiss and headed straight for the shower. Her purse was on the counter, buzzing from a muted text notification. I glanced. Just one word. Soon. That message. Just one word. Soon. It looped in my head like a siren. It could have meant anything, I told myself. A friend, a coworker. But no matter how I tried to justify it, something deep inside screamed that it wasn't innocent. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, I woke up early and sat in my car long after Megan left for work. I wasn't proud of what I was thinking, but I also wasn't ready to be anyone's fool. I decided to follow her. Just once. Not to accuse, not to fight. Just to know. She drove to a nearby cafe. Not her office. That was the first punch. I stayed parked a few cars behind, heart pounding like I was some rookie detective. She went inside, and not 5 minutes later, he walked in. Ryan, my best friend. Ryan and I had known each other since college. He was the kind of guy everyone liked. Funny, charming, always ready to help you move or buy the next round. Megan and I had introduced him to a few of her single friends over the years, but nothing ever stuck. Now, I understood why. From where I sat, I watched them talk over coffee like a couple on a date. Laughing, smiling, Megan touching his arm in that way she used to do with me when she wanted to feel close. I saw Ryan reach across the table and hold her hand. I snapped a photo with my phone. My fingers were shaking. When Megan got home that evening, she acted normal, kissed me on the cheek, told me her day was exhausting. I didn't say anything. I wanted to scream. But something told me I needed more. One photo wasn't enough. One coffee meetup didn't prove betrayal. So I started keeping records, text logs, GPS pings, nights she worked late, but actually wasn't near her office. I installed a hidden tracking app on her phone. I know how invasive that sounds, and maybe it was. But when the person you trust most is lying to your face, morality starts to bend. The worst part? She was good at it. She smiled through every dinner, laughed during movie nights, held my hand in public, told me she loved me before bed. And I believed her, or at least part of me wanted to. Over the next 2 weeks, the puzzle came together. Hotel receipts billed to her work email, deleted texts I recovered from a backup app, Ryan's car showing up at locations far from his apartment. I even planted a small voice recorder under the passenger seat of her car. It wasn't just a fling. They had a routine. They had plans. One night, I sat in our living room listening to a conversation they had in her car. The audio wasn't perfect, but it was clear enough to hear Megan say, "He has no idea. I feel kind of bad, but I just don't love him like that anymore." Ryan responded, "Just a few more weeks, babe. Let's not rush it. You deserve to leave clean." She laughed. Then she said the words that finally broke me. "Honestly, I don't think he'd ever leave me, even if he found out." That recording, that single sentence. I don't think he'd ever leave me, even if he found out. It was like being stabbed and then mocked for bleeding. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the certainty in her voice, the confidence that I was too weak, too trusting, too in love to do anything about it. She was wrong. I didn't confront her, not that night, not the next one either. I played dumb. I smiled. I kissed her goodnight. But inside, something shifted. I wasn't broken anymore. I was focused. If she and Ryan wanted to play games, then I was going to flip the board. First, I collected everything I had: photos, audio files, screenshots, even security camera footage from the hotel lobby, which I obtained through a friend who worked in building maintenance. I organized it all neatly in a cloud folder, time-stamped and labeled like a digital indictment. But I didn't just want proof. I wanted impact. Something unforgettable. Something that would haunt them the way their lies had haunted me. And then the perfect opportunity landed in my lap. Megan's company was holding a big annual networking event, a gala-style celebration they called Vision Night. It was semi-formal, catered, full of speeches and slide decks celebrating the team's accomplishments. Megan had even been selected to give a speech. I volunteered to help her prepare, printed her talking points, even helped pick out her dress. She was glowing with pride. I was shaking with anticipation. Here's what she didn't know. The venue was a large event hall downtown. It had multiple projection screens, AV equipment, and a tech team. Megan's presentation would be handled via USB, and I had full access to her slides the night before. So I added a new slide at the end of her speech, just one, black background, white text. Here's what Megan's been working on after hours. Then a 90-second silent compilation began to play. Clips of her and Ryan, snippets of the car audio, GPS maps, photos, everything. I timed it so that it would start just after she thought she was done. She'd close with her cheesy quote, "People would start clapping," and then the screen would light up again. A few hours before the event, I uploaded the new file and made sure the original was accidentally overwritten. That evening, Megan was radiant, hair curled, emerald green dress, confident smile. She kissed me before going on stage and whispered, "Wish me luck." I looked her in the eyes and said, "You're going to be unforgettable." Megan took the stage like she belonged there, confident, composed, applauded. She started her speech thanking her team, her mentors, and the company for believing in her journey. I stood near the back of the room, pretending to record with my phone, heart racing like I was defusing a bomb. The audience clapped politely throughout. She was polished, charismatic, a great liar. Then it happened, just as she said, "Thank you all, I'm proud of what we've built together," and turned to walk off stage. The projector flickered and stayed on. She paused, turned around slowly. Everyone did. Black screen, white text. "Here's what Megan's been working on after hours." There was a half-second of silence. Then the first image appeared, her sitting across from Ryan at that cafe, hand on his. Another image. Them entering the hotel, time-stamped 9:14 p.m. on a night she said she was in meetings. Then the audio clip played, "I just don't love him like that anymore." You could hear her voice, clear, cold. Megan froze. Her smile collapsed. She looked around like she'd just walked into a nightmare. And Ryan, standing near the back, dropped the champagne flute he was holding. It shattered. The room was dead silent. Whispers turned to gasps. I heard someone say, "Is this real?" Then murmurs became noise. The screen kept flipping through photos, texts, call logs, every layer of betrayal unfolding in public view. I stepped out quietly. I didn't need to see the rest. That moment was mine, and it was enough. Later that night, I returned home. Megan had already texted me 17 times and called me 6. No words, just, "Please talk to me. I'm so sorry. Where are you?" I didn't answer. Instead, I packed a small duffel bag, grabbed my laptop, and left her a simple note on the kitchen counter. "You were right. I would have never left you if you hadn't shown me who you really were." The days that followed were a whirlwind. Megan's phone calls kept coming, but I stayed silent. I needed space, not just from her, but from the life I thought I knew. Word spread quickly. At work, people whispered in hallways and glanced at her differently. Some coworkers reached out to me, offering support. Others stayed silent, not wanting to get involved. Megan was put on leave indefinitely. Her company launched an internal investigation, and while I had no desire to ruin her completely, the evidence was undeniable. Her reputation took a serious hit. Ryan disappeared. His messages went unanswered. I heard through mutual friends that he moved out of town without telling anyone. Family was divided. Some sided with me, others felt sorry for her, calling me harsh. But one thing was clear. The marriage was over. I filed for divorce 2 months later. It wasn't easy. The legal process was messy, emotional, but it felt like reclaiming my life. The hardest part, learning to trust again. But slowly, with therapy, friends, and time, I started rebuilding. I took up hiking again, reconnected with old hobbies, and focused on my career. I even started dating, cautiously, but with hope. Looking back, I realized something important. Betrayal hurts like hell, but it also teaches you who you truly are. I'm sharing this story because maybe, just maybe, someone else out there is going through something similar. To remind you that even when the ground falls beneath you, you can stand again. Stronger. Thank you for listening.